Tonight, tears of joy. Families reunite for a COVID Christmas in Perth after a year of sacrifice. Emotional scenes as WA opens its border to South Australia as parts of Sydney spent the day locked down. Summer scorcher. Perth swelters through its hottest Christmas day since 2007 as the mercury tops 40 degrees. What a gift, out of hotel quarantine and back into the arms of loved ones. Australian families finding new ways to come together. Christmas ruined, a grandmother injured in a hit-run crash in our northeastern suburbs. A simple hug, a personal touch, as the Queen delivers her annual Christmas message. And Christmas with our cricketers on the eve of the Boxing Day Test.
Live from Perth, 7 News with Elle, Georgiou.
Good evening and welcome to 7 News. The spirit of Christmas has shone through the pandemic as families reunited at Perth Airport today, some after a year apart. WA's border with South Australia reopened at 1 minute past midnight. There were emotional scenes as travellers touched down, finally able to celebrate a COVID Christmas without having to quarantine. But Santa was locked out on the northern beaches, with parts of Sydney spending the day in isolation. There was some good news though, just 7 new cases from nearly 70,000 tests.
Before they'd even made it out the gate, the tears started to flow. After all, what's Christmas without family?
You can see how excited we are. It's just beautiful. It's been 12 months.
We didn't think it was going to happen, and it's a year since we've seen our son.
Quarantine requirements for South Australians ended at midnight. For these families, the decision was as good as anything Santa could have delivered.
The best Christmas present ever. She is my Christmas present. Love you. I'm so happy.
Tom Smith quit his job after 6 months apart from his partner and daughters.
Probably the easiest thing I've ever done.
While Perth enjoyed scenes of happiness, 700 Victorian police were patrolling their border with New South Wales. A record 69,809 tests carried out in the last day, uncovering 7 new cases. Santa had a few issues at the Northern Beaches epicentre.
No one's letting me in, I can't understand it. I'll just leave the presents here.
The New South Wales Premier's calling on other states to follow the Northern Territory and open to most of Greater Sydney.
I think the Northern Territory's response is measured and proportionate to the risk.
Opinions at our airport today mixed on WA's hard border.
This is a absolutely delayed reunion, which has just made so much misery for families.
The Premier's doing a good job over here, keeping things shut, and that's how it should be.
2 more Adelaide flights will touch down in Perth tonight. Their passengers spared the agony of 2 weeks quarantine and able to spend at least a few hours with loved ones on Christmas Day. But not everyone's been so lucky. Last night, we had 2,425 people in quarantine. Leah Presky's family braved today's heat for a Christmas wave.
Happy Christmas, everyone!
WA recorded 1 new COVID case today in hotel quarantine, something South Australians no longer have to endure. Rory Campbell, 7 News.
After what feels like a never-ending year, Perth has celebrated a Christmas like no other. As West Australians marked the big day in a year of COVID, keeping cool was the order of the day. We sizzled through one of our hottest Christmas days on record, with the temperature topping 40 degrees.
Why beat the heat when you can conquer the cold? Santa, the state's latest border exemption, ecstatic to be at the beach.
Legislation-wise, it was fine. I got a pass for every country.
But few countries can celebrate like this. Crowds at City Beach swelled amidst a summer scorcher, even as the mercury topped 40 degrees just before 2, the hottest in 13 years, in a year like no other. Christmas in Perth was a gift nobody was taking for granted.
We have family in England that can't visit each other or can't visit us. But other than that, we're pretty lucky to have most of our family in Western Australia.
Little wonder why Londoners preferred it here.
We're pumped. First time I've ever been at the beach at Christmas. Full 10 out of 10. 10 out of 10.
This year, ordinary Christmas rituals aren't routine, they're remarkable. The efforts of West Australians to eliminate coronavirus are the envy of a world in lockdown and the perfect present for one another. Today's festivities would not be possible without the generosity of workers. Snapping up Christmas shifts so others could sink schooners. Families also flocked to Kings Park, while the literal flock packed the pews. Perth's faithful among the few across the country who can actually worship freely together. Holy water, the only coronavirus casualty at St George's Anglican in the city, surely seen as a blessing from above by many. St Mary's Catholic Cathedral also celebrated the sacraments, but their church wasn't without a few changes.
Yeah, we need to queue up to get a ticket, so otherwise can't get in.
Better a ticket than a COVID congregation over Zoom. Sydney's lockdown forcing the faithful to host their occasion online. The Prime Minister also digitally distributing his message.
So Merry Christmas, Australia, and a very happy New Year.
Giving new meaning to Christmas Connection. Ben Downing, 7 News.
On a day meant for coming together, Australians have been busy just trying to stay connected. Separated by borders and health threats, for many, Christmas has never felt so divided, but distance didn't stop the celebrations.
On today of all days, what better gift than getting out of quarantine?
It couldn't have been better timing.
Amelia Cormack left 14 days of isolation this morning, finally flying in from New York after having 3 flights home cancelled.
I'm going to be with my family, just my immediate family, and that's the best Christmas present that I could have wished.
But for every family celebrating together, there are others torn apart, some nursing homes under lockdown and border closures ruining plans countrywide.
Hello.
Hey, Merry Christmas.
Merry Christmas.
The only family Natasha Redmond will see today is on her phone after enduring the world's longest lockdown in Melbourne. A one-day visit to Sydney means she's now locked out of seeing family in Adelaide.
Anyone who's been in Sydney actually can enter South Australia but has to do 2 weeks of hotel quarantine, which kind of defeats the purpose of going.
The COVID cluster on the northern beaches means residents there have to stay put.
It's been a hard year and everybody's really just trying to support each other as much as they can.
Other Australians stranded overseas. David Charles had multiple flights cancelled before giving up.
My parents are not, they're in their 70s, so those years are important, and this is one that we've had to skip.
Hey, Merry Christmas!
The Marcus too had hoped family from Sydney could fly in. Now they don't know when they'll see them next.
I feel for so many people who are actually spending Christmas alone this year.
Or in quarantine.
Or in quarantine, even worse.
But quarantining is what many of our frontline health workers have had to do all year.
This year, my Blue Army, the Blue family have just been amazing, and today is no different.
Potential exposures during the health crisis mean many have self-isolated away from family to keep them safe. Today, a chance for paramedics to celebrate their incredible work.
In recent days, we've had crews with potential exposures that are having to self-isolate and not being able to spend their Christmas with their family, along with those at work today.
Whatever it is separating people this Christmas, it's fair to say they're not alone. There are so many people in similar situations, and with no sign of when these restrictions will ease, keeping up communication is key.
Screens have been our friend. We are definitely taking advantage of being able to FaceTime all family and talk as much as possible.
But nothing beats the real thing. Andrew Denny, 7 News.
There's a large police presence in the CBD tonight after a car crashed into a bank. Amber Johnston joins us live now. Amber, what happened?
Elle, a ute has ploughed into the Westpac Bank behind me here on St George's Terrace, and a manhunt is now underway for the driver who fled the scene. It happened just before 4:30 this afternoon. The car is still lodged inside the bank. So far back, it's hard to see, but around the other side of the building, you can get a good idea of the damage that's been caused. At this stage, police are still trying to figure out exactly what happened. They don't know if it was an accident or a deliberate hit on the bank. From what we can see, the ATM inside is still intact, but police will begin reviewing security vision to try to determine if anything has been taken. Forensic officers have just entered the bank, but at this stage there's still no update on the driver. Police have told me they are hunting for a man. Elle?
Amber Johnston, thank you. Police are tonight hunting a driver wanted over a hit and run in Perth's northeast. A grandmother was on her way to a family Christmas celebration when her car was struck by a ute in Beachborough. The driver fled the scene without stopping to help. The 60-year-old woman had to be taken to hospital.
Christmas Day ruined, a grandmother hurt. The X-Trail she's driving is hit by a grey ute. The airbags go off and the car spins. What happens next is a long way from the Christmas spirit. The ute turns around and drives off back in the direction it came from with no idea about the condition of the 60-year-old woman in its rear-view mirror.
I heard a noise, big bang on the corner there, and I I see the accident, and then the ute take off away.
Beachborough residents in a much more giving mood rushing to help. The woman's injuries were bad enough for paramedics to take her to hospital.
She's nervous and she cannot breathing. And then I drive, and then lucky the lady next door, she come out and then she help her.
Those who live on St Lawrence Drive heard the crash coming.
The noise like they use a brake, like that, and then bang. And then I see the ute turn around and they take off.
The woman who was hurt is a grandmother of 13. She was on the way to pick up a family member in his 90s so he could be part of today's celebrations. Instead, she's spending Christmas in hospital. But not the whole day. She was discharged after being treated. This is the ute police are looking for. Black rims and a bull bar make it stand out. It's also likely to be damaged, but not badly enough to force the driver to stop and check on the car he hit. Rory Campbell, 7 News.
A police investigation has been launched into the crash that sparked a Christmas Eve fire in Bullsbrook that placed multiple homes under threat. Residents woke this morning to smoke still pouring from the 5-hectare fireground. It ignited yesterday just before 2 o'clock, creating havoc in the poor conditions where temperatures topped 41 degrees. It took 100 firefighters and 29 appliances to eventually bring the blaze under control by 10 p.m. A toddler has died in a quad bike tragedy in regional Victoria. The 2-year-old passenger was thrown from the ATV on a property northeast of Melbourne. Witnesses freed the young boy from the wreckage before performing CPR, but sadly he couldn't be saved. The driver is now assisting police. Hope is the theme of the Queen's 2020 Christmas message, the monarch reaching out to those separated from loved ones. She's delivered the annual broadcast for almost 7 decades, but this year is particularly personal, even acknowledging the power of a simple hug.
From Windsor Castle, where Her Majesty spent most of 2020 isolating, the Queen shares a message of hope in what she describes as difficult, unpredictable times.
Of course, for many, this time of year will be tinged with sadness, some mourning the loss of those dear to them, and others missing friends and family members distanced for safety, when all they'd really want for Christmas is a simple hug or a squeeze of the hand. If you are among them, you are not alone.
Usually surrounded by pictures of her family, this year a single photo of Prince Philip by the monarch's side.
Remarkably, a year that has necessarily kept people apart has in many ways brought us closer. Across the Commonwealth, my family and I have been inspired by stories of people volunteering in their communities, helping those in need.
Selflessness and sacrifice, key themes of the Queen's 68th Christmas message, thanking frontline health workers, scientists and young people who have risen to the challenge.
And I'm so proud and moved by this quiet, indomitable spirit. We continue to be inspired by the kindness of strangers and draw comfort that even on the darkest nights, there is hope in the new dawn.
The 94-year-old reflecting on her solo visit to the tomb of the unknown warrior.
The unknown warrior was not exceptional. That's the point.
Still a hero of the First World War.
He represents millions like him who throughout our history have put the lives of others above their own, and will be doing so today. Let the light of Christmas, the spirit of selflessness, love, and above all hope, guide us in the times ahead. It is in that spirit that I wish you a very happy Christmas.
In London, Sarah Greenolch, 7 News.
Donald Trump has delivered his final Christmas message as President of the United States. In the video, he thanked emergency responders and health professionals for their tireless efforts during the pandemic. He and wife Melania also praised the work of scientists for developing a COVID vaccine, calling it a Christmas miracle.
We are delivering millions of doses of a safe and effective vaccine that will soon end this terrible pandemic and save millions and millions of lives. On behalf of Melania and the entire Trump family, we wish you a very Merry Christmas and a Happy New Year.
More than 1 million Americans have now received the vaccine. Prime Minister Scott Morrison has thanked the tens of thousands of Defence Force personnel who have helped the country through this difficult year. Serving men and women who are spending Christmas away from their families send messages to lift the spirits of loved ones back home.
There's no doubt 2020 has been a challenging year for the Defence Force.
A year marked with outstanding accomplishments and unprecedented events.
Operation Bushfire Assist, Operation COVID Assist, and continued operations in the Indo-Pacific and the Middle East.
What we have achieved is international best practice and has saved countless lives.
This year, thousands of ADF personnel will spend Christmas away from family. They face extended and uncertain postings, but their spirit has not wavered.
I just wanted to say a big Merry Christmas to my family back home.
I love you and I miss you, and I can't wait to be back with you in the new year.
Sending Christmas cheer from across the country.
I'm Corporal Soraya Stevens. I'm working down in Adelaide.
Working out at the Sydney airport.
Assisting with Operation COVID Assist here in South Australia. I just wanted to wish my family from Queensland a Merry Christmas.
I just wanted to wish all my friends and family a Merry Christmas.
I hope you have a great Christmas and I hope to see you soon.
And from those in operations across the globe.
G'day, I'm Corporal Sharp, currently in the Middle East.
I miss you all so much. Can't wait to see you.
Stay safe and look forward to seeing you soon.
Merry Christmas.
Prime Minister Scott Morrison paid tribute to the servicemen and women deployed here and overseas.
We respect and give thanks for the life of service that you have chosen.
He praised their strength and courage.
You're upholding our nation's interests. You're defending our values. You are shining lights of our country.
But the light dimmed later in the year when a damning report revealed war crimes committed by Australian soldiers in Afghanistan.
I'd like to thank those who had the courage to speak up.
Authorities are working to reform the organisation.
To ensure the ADF, always and everywhere, reflects the best of Australia.
But for now, from the Defence family to yours.
Merry Christmas for all of us! Merry Christmas!
Merry Christmas! Remember to wash your hands!
Jennifer Beshwati, 7 News.
It's been a tough year for our frontline healthcare workers and many were hard at work today. At Joondalup Hospital, a random act of kindness lifted spirits when a man walked in and surprised staff with presents, while one young family received the best gift of all.
This is the Christmas card that came with the gift that the chappie dropped off to us this morning.
A random act of kindness from Perth's very own Secret Santa.
And inside the card, there's $100.
A gift from a complete stranger who surprised staff and patients in the emergency department at Joondalup Hospital.
And when we opened it, it had two $50 notes inside. And inside it says, Merry Christmas with a little heart, Wayne. It was really heartwarming to know that someone's so kind.
Just a random man, yeah. Don't know who he was.
Doctors, nurses and security among those handed the cards by the mystery man.
All we know is his name is Wayne. We don't know anything else about him. He left the department pretty swiftly, didn't want to chat to anybody.
A gift for staff who've been busy delivering other gifts. One of the first babies to be born in WA this Christmas.
It was the first year we decided not to actually get ourselves a gift or each other a gift, so here's our gift now.
For the nurses and doctors here, Christmas is just like any other day, but this surprise visit from Wayne has made it extra special. How do you plan to spend this Christmas gift?
We're just going to pop it into our social club funds, and hopefully throughout the year we'll be able to have a few drinks on Wayne.
Or even better, they hope this story will help them find Wayne so they can share a drink with him.
That's such a beautiful, kind thing to do, and it really brightened up my day. And I think when you show love like that, the love is shared.
Amber Johnston, 7 News.
You're watching 7 News live from Perth. Coming up, a home explodes, a 3-year-old girl saved from the rubble. After the break, how the hero officer delivered a true Christmas miracle. Brexit done, Boris's delight, but at the border, there's an SOS. Plus, white Christmas warning, pure chaos and collisions on an icy road.
Coming up in sport at 6:45, there's no Christmas cheer from the Aussie captain on the eve of the Boxing Day test.
We can't pay any attention to mental scars or whatever that people are talking about.
And tips on how to secure the best bargains on Boxing Day. That's next.
Merry Chrissy.
From all of us at 7.
Shut up and take my money.
Here at Amart Furniture, it's our Boxing Day sale with up to 50% off a huge range of stylish pieces. So hurry on in. Amart Furniture. These offers available for a limited time only.
Do you want to go for a quick ride?
In a one-horse open sleigh.
I want to do this! No!
You're starting to believe in magic, aren't you?
What fun it is to...
What does Christmas mean to you?
Let me show you. Oh, jingle bells, jingle all the way. Oh, what fun.
You guys give up? Or you're thirsty for more?
Season streamings with all your Christmas favourites on Disney+.
We're shaking things up, WA. With Containers for Change, you get 10 cents for every eligible drink container at your local refund point. To find out where to cash in, visit containersforchange.com.au.
It's Junior Hi-Fi's Interview Madness with crazy store-wide deals while stocks last. This is nuts. Get over $700 on the Samsung French door fridge, $300 off the Secovax robot vac, and $100 off this Dyson V7 crunched to $499. JB, you've done it again.
The Barbecues Galore Boxing Day sale. 30% off selected barbecues, furniture, umbrellas and coolers. 20% off Ziegler and Brown barbecues. And huge savings across these big brands. The Barbecues Galore Boxing Day sale. Now you're cooking.
It's normal for adults to worry when facing uncertainty, and it's no different for children. They worry most about what they don't understand. But good communication will always reassure them. Talk to them calmly. Watch news and social media together to address misinformation. Encourage them to ask questions and answer with clarity. If you don't know the answers, try looking for them together. Learning is good. Watch more simple tips and tricks on the Think Mental Health website.
Absolutely everything is on sale at Freedom, with up to 25% off sofas, up to 30% off furniture and homewares, and up to 50% off mattresses. It's happening right now. Only at Freedom.
Australian golfing great Greg Norman has revealed he'll spend Christmas in isolation after showing symptoms for COVID-19.
I have a mild fever, I have cough, I have aches and pains, I have a mild headache, so I am in self-quarantine.
Norman says he tested negative for coronavirus on Tuesday, but is awaiting results of another test taken today. A house destroyed by a natural gas explosion has sparked a rescue mission that must be seen to be believed. The pictures captured on body camera are just incredible. And that a tiny 3-year-old girl is back home for Christmas, well, that's being hailed a miracle.
We're coming to you. We need a pry bar.
A family trapped under the weight of a mountain of rubble.
Where's she? Here, get your leg out, get your leg out.
Neighbours rushing in to help a daring rescue seconds after Jason Boomsma's family home in Indiana exploded.
One called out, "Where's the baby?" And I jumped up and I had to go find her.
The blast in September caused by a natural gas leak. These pictures only released now.
Hey, we need to move. We gotta get moving.
Oh, my leg is broke. My leg is so broke.
It's gonna get hotter. Keep moving her.
Jason's 3-year-old granddaughter pulled from the rubble.
I got you, baby. Hold it, buddy. Hold it. Hey, hold it. Hey, baby. Here, baby. We're going. Here, go. Go, go. Go, come with me.
Buried in the debris with a fractured leg, Kayla Boomsma pulled to safety by first responders.
All hands on deck, let's go!
My brother came in and lifted the mattress off me, and everybody had to just drag me out. I was, safe. It was a huge relief.
Among the injured, a 3-year-old girl airlifted to hospital. Miraculously, she's spending this Christmas back with family. All up, 7 were seriously injured, but amazingly, all survived. Lieutenant Kevin Van Kiley was awarded the Medal of Honour this week for the harrowing rescue, and more are expected in the weeks to come.
That day, you truly saw everybody put everything aside. We had an entire neighbourhood come together.
Hold it, hey baby. Hey baby.
An act of courage and care that'll never be forgotten.
I'll be forever grateful.
Go, go.
7 people went into that house, 7 people came out.
In the United States, David Woywood, 7 News.
More than 4 years since the UK voted to leave the European Union, a Brexit deal has finally been reached. British Prime Minister Boris Johnson called it the biggest trade deal yet, worth about £660 billion a year.
We've taken back control of our laws and our destiny. We've taken back control of every jot and tittle of our regulation in a way that is complete and unfettered.
The 500-page agreement will mean no quotas or tariffs on goods traded between the UK and EU. Stranded truckies have spelled out the word help in traffic cones as thousands remain trapped at a UK port. They're being held up at Dover as France demands COVID tests before crossing the English Channel. It follows the rapid spread of a mutant strain of the virus in the UK. Chinese scientists claim they found a giant dinosaur bone at a construction site in the Sichuan province. Experts say the 1-metre fossil is the thigh bone of a sauropod dinosaur and dates back 160 million years. The fossil weighs about 200 kilograms, while the dinosaur is predicted to have been 17 metres tall. And perhaps a white Christmas isn't all it's cracked up to be if these scenes in Turkey are anything to go by. Icy conditions have wreaked havoc with drivers on Christmas Eve, with many losing control of their vehicles and skidding down the road. At least 7 cars were damaged in collisions, according to the 13-year-old witness who filmed it all. Retailers around the country are stepping up COVID precautions ahead of tomorrow's Boxing Day sales. There's unlikely to be the traditional crowd crush, but there will be plenty of bargains in store and online.
'Tis the season to be shopping. Boxing Day discounts are festive tradition.
I think this might even be our 114th year that we've done Boxing Day.
This year, the start of the sales will be more relaxed than rushed. COVID restrictions will be in place, the crowd's set to be smaller, but the sales will be big.
This is our biggest clearance of the year, so you can expect up to 50% off fashion, shoes and accessories.
We're looking at between 50 to 70% off some really big name brands.
According to Finder, there'll be big deals on beauty, 30% off Estee Lauder and MAC Cosmetics, 30% also off fashion at The Iconic. Microsoft set to slash $1,900 off gaming and modern PCs.
Everything is discounted from books and wine right through to technology.
Shoppers to make the most of the merry markdowns.
Consumers are expected to spend $54 billion this festive season period. $20 billion alone is projected to be spent by consumers on Boxing Day.
People joke this is the time they buy the things they really wanted that they didn't get at Christmas.
Booktopia has already slashed 80% off some titles. Tomorrow morning, DJs will kick off their sale online. Christmas to come early at Amazon with 70% off across fashion, beauty, electronics and toys. Bingley and Big W among those to launch big deals one day early. Amber Laidler, 7 News.
Giving in to temptation at Christmas is a serious health issue for millions of Australians. Still to come, the diabetes warning and a life-changing breakthrough. A $100 million markdown for Michael Jackson's Neverland Ranch. The Aussie home with more than 40 Christmas trees. That's next. And the new list of potentially poisonous foods your pets need to avoid.
You've got front row seats to the biggest day of cricket this year. Boxing Day.
Here we go.
Our Aussies made history against the Indians.
That's it hard.
Now, can they put the foot down and go 2-0 up?
That's enormous.
Then, the Big Bash double. The superstars are out for 2 helpings of the biggest rivalry in Australia. The biggest day of cricket this year is Boxing Day. And the best place to see it all is right here. Boxing Day, live and free on 7.
Boating, cabin fishing is BCFing fun.
It's the big one, the BCFing Boxing Day sale. Club members hook in with 20% off all rods. Load up.
BCFing fun. Hey!
The Nick Scarlett January sale is on now. Save up to 50% off a huge range of quality furniture. Up to 50% off. The Nick Scarlett January sale on now.
Create more space and save on outdoor blinds at the Blinds Gallery. Bring your outside in and save up to 50% on zip track blinds and awnings, plus all shutters heavily reduced.
Call 137-127 the Blinds Gallery.
Domino's $5 pizzas are incredible value. 7 awesome recipes, all made with fresh dough, vine-ripened tomato sauce, and stretchier, tastier mozzarella. $5 pizzas, no voucher required. At Domino's.
The iconic Australian musical based on the life of Peter Allen, The Boy from Oz, will dazzle audiences at Crown Theatre from January 2021. Book now at Ticketmaster.
Siegel's outdoor furniture sale now on. Everything up to 70% off. Fira sofa dining set was $7.99, now a crazy $4.99. Avalon modular was $8.99, now $6.99. Newport sofa set was $8.99, now $6.99. Cairns daybed was $8.99, now $6.99. Cuba 10-seater was $13.99, now $9.99. Marseille sofa dining was $13.99, now $9.99. Siegel's up to 70% off sale now on.
Trusted by hundreds of families since 1982, St Jude's is a registered NDIS provider for disability services across WA. We provide a diverse range of accommodation options including supported independent living, respite care and our flexible drop-in support service. Search St Jude's Disability online today to learn more about how we can support you towards your goals and independence. With us, everything is possible.
It's hard not to overindulge in food and drink at this time of the year, and for the more than 1 million Australians with diabetes, controlling sugar intake is key.
Jackie Gordon has lived with type 1 diabetes for almost 30 years. She's constantly monitoring her blood glucose levels.
When it's high, I'm exhausted and it feels like my spine's velcroed to a couch. When it's low, and I've had 3 lows that Peter has had to call ambulances in and reboot me.
There's an added layer of anxiety for sufferers during the festive period.
I call the whole insidious disease a prick because that's all I seem to do. I have 4 needles a day.
All people with diabetes during Christmas period do find it a little bit challenging to manage their blood glucose levels because of the fact that we're eating a little bit more and at different times.
Jackie has started using a glucose monitoring system at this time of year. It has been life-changing.
It was like having a car with a petrol tank. All of a sudden they've given me a gauge so I can read my sugar. I would wave my mobile phone over the disc and instantly it would tell me where my sugar's at.
Only type 1 diabetes patients with a healthcare card can get the technology subsidised. Until then, treats in moderation can make a huge difference.
So what I would recommend for people during this festive time is to try and avoid anything that's got too much sugar in it, too many biscuits or too many dips.
Sarah Jones, 7 News.
It's the most controversial vaccine out there, but now 300,000 doses of Russia's Sputnik 5 have arrived in Argentina, where the government has approved it for emergency use. The vaccine is currently only legal in Belarus and Russia, where they claim it has proved 91% effective. Some Western nations have raised concerns after Sputnik 5 was given the green light without completing full trials. Michael Jackson's Neverland Ranch in California has sold for $29 million, 11 years after the King of Pop's death. The sprawling 1,100-hectare estate has been renamed Sycamore Valley Ranch. The sale price is almost $100 million less than the asking price 5 years ago. It's taken all month, but we think we've finally found one of Australia's biggest Christmas fans. They live in a home filled to the brim with an astonishing 40 Christmas trees.
Behind the walls of this home lies a Christmas wonderland. More than 40 trees standing tall, each with a name and a unique theme.
We've got the peacock tree, we've got the frozen tree behind me. There's a tree here that's got American vintage sort of decorations. It's a lantern tree, there's a candy tree.
For Luke McKenzie and his partner Chris, it's the most wonderful time of the year. Thousands upon thousands of old and new decorations fuel the Christmas obsession. It's a labour of love that only grows.
Every piece of that tinsel that you can see on there is the old lead tinsel, and every bit of it goes on one strand at a time.
No room is left without a touch of Christmas.
We do have some decorations and a small tree in the laundry as well, so people will often say, oh, you decorate your laundry, and I say, you don't decorate your laundry?
The pair started this year's display in September.
This one is our candy themed tree. Chris calls it the COVID food pyramid tree because, we're eating a lot of that stuff during lockdown.
The incredible collection has been decades in the making. Luke first started collecting Christmas ornaments when he was 8 years old.
We try and add a little bit more each year when we can. We are running out of power points.
As for the electricity bill...
Before we got the solar at I think it was about $1,400, and that made us cry a little bit, but it sort of sits around the $850 mark now for the 3 months.
Contents insurance was an even bigger hurdle.
They didn't believe it, even with photos. We've got some stuff here that goes back to the early 20th century. Puts out a fair bit of heat, so safety is really important to us as well. So we're here every night.
Tours are only open to friends and family, but there's still plenty to see on the outside until January 6.
The most special thing for us is seeing the adults' reaction. They say, it feels like Christmas now.
Sarah Jones, 7 News.
The dreaded bill shock for expecting families at private hospitals is now a thing of the past in WA. Normally, West Australian mothers can be stung up to $5,000 on top of their policy, but Joondalup Health Campus's Peace of Mind maternity package now covers expensive extras like anaesthesia.
With the partnership that we've created between both HBF as well as Joondalup Health Campus, we can reduce those out-of-pocket expenses basically to zero.
Policyholders not with HBF could still be eligible for thousands of dollars off normal costs. Still to come, a magical Christmas moment in Paris. A choir in hard hats, but spirits are high. See the pictures at the famous Notre Dame. Royal touch, Prince Charles leads big British stars in a poem recital. And find out exactly what your refund rights are if today's gift didn't quite hit the mark.
And coming up in sport, meet the son of a Wildcats MVP who's set to take the NBL by storm, and the technology that could save some embarrassing blunders by our cricket umpires.
Look out, the Griswolds are coming to dinner. Christmas night, a family double feature, National Lampoon's Vacation and National Lampoon's Christmas Vacation. They're two greatest vacations. Kicking off 7:30 tonight on 7.
Put yourself in a place where everything is possible. The BMW X3 S Drive 20i. From 69,900, drive away. Inspiration captured. Search BMW X3.
The massive New Year clearance is on now at Bedworld. Electric queen bed with mattress only $19.15. 4-piece bedroom suites from only $13.99. And WA-made pocket spring mattress now only $4.99. Massive savings. Bedworld Osborne Park or bedworldonline.com.au.
Now streaming on Disney Plus.
This is where souls get their personalities before they go to Earth.
I gotta get back to my body. Disney and Pixar present
Soul. It's so good!
It's the family movie event of the year.
Yes! Woohoo!
Filled with comedy.
Okay, I get it.
Loaded with heart.
Joey!
And tons of soul. Now streaming on Disney Plus.
Great Scott! Parry's are taking their prices back in time for their annual sale. With free installation and free underlay, you can count on Parry's to have you covered. parryscarpets.com.au.
Today we'll be offering... They're gone. What do you mean they're gone? The snacks. They're gone. Missing. Well, they have to be here somewhere. They're not here. They can't just get up and walk away.
All right, only 13 more hours to go. New M&M's pretzel with pretzel inside.
Massive savings in the New Year New Gear sale at Golf Box. Up to 60% off clubs. Minimum 20% off clothing and shoes. Balls, bags, gloves and more. Shop now. The New Year New Gear sale at Golf Box. We outfit everyone.
Celebrate summer with our White Hot Christmas sale. Take a seat on the world's most comfortable sofa and explore our huge range of sizzling specials. Dags Furniture, the comfort of home.
How will you see 2021? Get your tickets for the first Saturday Lotto draw of the year, the $30 million Mega Draw, on January 2nd.
Now, Fuel Watch. Perth's petrol prices brought to you by Fuel Watch and 7 News.
There's been a magical Christmas moment at the famous Notre Dame Cathedral in France. Wearing hard hats and protective suits, members of the choir sung Christmas carols, the first time they've been permitted since last year's devastating fire. Only 8 singers were allowed inside. Prince Charles has led a procession of British celebrities reciting the poem The Night Before Christmas.
When all through the house, not a creature was stirring, not even a mouse.
The stockings were hung by the chimney with care.
And Mamma, in her kerchief and I in my cap, had just settled our brains for a long winter's nap.
It's to support a charity helping actors and their families during the pandemic. They're the masters of manipulation, especially when it comes to food. But at Christmas, a dog's appetite for mischief could prove deadly. Vets warn table scraps contain ingredients that can kill, and the dangers don't end there.
A little dog with a big appetite. But on this occasion, 4-month-old Frankie bit off more than he could chew.
He ate a pair of knickers. And then he had to have surgery to get it removed. Apparently it was like wrapped around his intestines.
Frankie's one of the lucky ones. He'll make a full recovery. But this time of year, vets see plenty of dogs that don't. Man's best friend is renowned for being a savvy scavenger, but be warned, something as simple as a mince pie can kill.
Eating some grapes or raisins for some dogs can be really, really toxic. We need to be careful about what they're actually getting exposed to.
There's a long list of poisonous foods. Many of them, like onions, turkey skin and nutmeg, are popular at Christmas. And surveys show 1 in 4 of us admits to feeding leftovers to our dogs. Vets say if your best mate does become lethargic and starts vomiting, that's often a sign it swallowed something it shouldn't.
We want to see any dog as soon as possible. Like the emergency vets are there over Christmas.
As for Frankie, it's hoped he'll stay away from the laundry basket from now on.
I don't leave him alone because I just don't trust him now.
Rosie Barnett, 7 News.
Christmas, it's the season of giving, but what if you received a gift that doesn't quite work or might not fit? Find out exactly what your refund rights are. If the present didn't quite hit the mark, don't miss that story soon here on 7 News. But first, Adrian Barrett is here with sport now. And Barrett, there was a bit of an injury scare for one Aussie star at Australia training just 1 day out from the Boxing Day test.
That's right, Elle. Absolutely right. Merry Christmas too. And before they had Christmas lunch in the Melbourne bubble, the Aussie captain gave Justin Langer some nervous moments. The Australian coach had his game face on at the MCG today ahead of tomorrow's big Boxing Day test. And remember Tiny Pinder? Well, now his son is making it big in the NBL.
It's outrageously beautiful.
It's like some space landscape. Just amazing.
Create your own escape. Every weekend on 7/2. An escape anytime with 7+.
Discover summer at Domain. Holiday at home in comfort with a new Tempur Queen mattress and bonus quilt and protector pack. And for $1 more, add this Tempur Ease Queen adjustable base. Plus 60 months interest free with bonus gift cards. Now at Domain.
Each time the sun sees your skin, when the UV is 3 or above, it's doing damage beneath the surface, which can turn to skin cancer. Don't let the sun see your DNA. Defend yourself.
Audible is excellent for unwinding in bed with a cuppa.
Doesn't smell like a cup of tea.
Well, it's not tea. It's hard tea. What are you, the tea police?
Download the Audible app and start listening today.
Great Scott! Parry's are taking their prices back in time for their annual sale. With free installation and free underlay, you can count on Parry's to have you covered. parryscarpets.com.au.
Little Bella's home with a newfound friend. Luckily, with Pino Clean Laundry Sanitizer, it doesn't matter where that's been. Because unlike detergent alone, which doesn't get rid of all germs, it removes 99.9% of bacteria. It's not clean unless it's Pino Clean.
The iconic Australian musical based on the life of Peter Allen, The Boy from Oz, will dazzle audiences at Crown Theatre from January 2021. Book now at Ticketmaster.
Discover summer at Domain. Love holidays at home with 20% off discontinued and ex-display dining furniture. That's 20% off clearance dining tables and chairs, buffets, entertainment units and more while stocks last. Plus 60 months interest free with bonus gift cards. Now at Domain.
The Rebel sale is on. Get up to 30% off a range of footwear and football boots. Plus buy one, get one half price on all clothing. Can't wait? Shop online now or in-store tomorrow. Rebel. Sport is calling.
Get huge savings in the Super Cheap Auto Boxing Day sale. There's 30% off all automotive and 4x4 batteries, all car care and all engine oils. Plus 30% off jockey wheels and SCA welders. Starts online today.
Merry Christmas. Cricket first, and Australian captain Tim Paine wants his team to be ruthless in the Boxing Day test, but he's dismissing suggestions the Indians are mentally scarred. India has made 4 changes though, with exciting opener Shubman Gill to make his test debut.
A moment of intrigue at the MCG. There was an obvious lack of Christmas cheer in this chat between captain and coach. Tim Paine headed indoors with team Dr. Lee Golding and failed to reappear. Justin Langer then briefed shortly after, but the Aussies insist there's no last-minute curveball for Boxing Day.
Yeah, no, everyone's good to go. I had a bit of a catch in the indoor net. It's pretty hard to get an outdoor net when you've got some of our batters batting for hours. So I set my gear up and got out of there.
The smiles would soon return. Steve Smith and Marnus Labuschagne not ones to pass up on an extra hit. Joe Burns and Cameron Green also spent the morning getting in one last net session. The traditional Christmas feast that followed missing some key members for several Aussie stars.
Whilst it's difficult at times to be away from family and today to not have some around for Christmas makes it challenging, but at the end of the day, tomorrow we've got a job to do.
The MCG might not be full on day one, but this Boxing Day test will be one for the record books.
Yeah, it's going to be different, isn't it? Victoria's, had harsher lockdowns than most of us, so to have 30,000 people there, if you had told us that a few months ago, I don't think we would believe you.
Australia adopting a ruthless attitude after their first test demolition.
We can't pay any attention to mental scars or whatever that people are talking about. We know they're not going to roll over. We're going to have to work our backsides off.
While the Aussies push for a 2-0 series lead here in Melbourne, Cricket Australia will work desperately behind the scenes to try and save the SCG test. Whether or not that match goes ahead in Sydney needs to be made before a result here in Melbourne. Andrew McCormack, 7 News.
Next year's Tokyo Games are shaping as the best shot for our Boomers to finally break their Olympic medal hoodoo. The Boomers came agonisingly close in Rio after losing to Serbia in the semis. But with the return of coach Brian Goorjian, the Aussies are determined to make some basketball history.
It's on my whiteboard as I wake up every morning. That's the number one goal. That's why I get up. That's why I train. That's why I put in the time and the effort and make sure my mental and physical shape is at the utmost.
The Sydney Kings start their NBL season in a grand final replay against our own Perth Wildcats at RAC Arena on January 15. WA's Keanu Pinder, son of former Wildcats MVP Tiny Pinder, is the new fan favourite at the Adelaide 36ers. The 25-year-old, 205-centimetre power forward was a training squad member at the Cats in 2013 and has also played in Europe and America. Born in Derby, he's one of just 3 Indigenous basketballers currently playing in the NBL.
I grew up with all my Aboriginal family, and it means so much to me to be able to play in Australia and play in front of them and them to see me and see me as a role model.
And Pinder is linked up with another West Aussie at the 36ers, childhood friend Sunday Detch, who played in the Wildcats championship teams of 2014 and 2019. And now to a story of Australian ingenuity set to revolutionise cricket. It's technology that alerts umpires when a no ball has been bowled, and it could save the umps from some embarrassing mistakes.
2018 and former test bowler turned engineering student Peter George stepped us through his invention, My Call, the device set to rid cricket of this.
With, of course, Ishant Sharma and the no balls, 22 uncalled.
Come on, somebody's got to do something about this, and I'd been thinking about it from a technical point of view and thought, this is how you could do it. And it was Susie that said, We could do that.
Susie's his wife and now business partner. Her commercial background fast-tracking prototype into product.
Since coming on board, I've raised nearly $1 million in funding, and that's included funding from the Queensland Government.
A sensor on the shoe calibrates with others in the ground. If it lands outside the electronic field around the crease, Michael sends a signal to the umpire on a handheld device replacing the clicker.
An instant result. We know immediately whether it's a no ball or not. The umpire can focus on what he should be focusing on, and that is what's happening at the other end.
It doesn't rely on TV cameras like DRS, meaning it can be used at all levels.
The aim of this technology is to go right around the world, be a global technology, but also played just down the road at your local club as well.
It's one of the toughest aspects of umpiring. Picking that no ball on the front line, it can be very hard to find. And yes, technology that's going to make it instantaneous is exactly what we want.
Backers already include cricket elites like Chris Lynn. Measuring impact, the applications are endless.
And I think products like this, where you can clip something onto your shoe, that's the way that things are moving forward, where you have kids in the backyard training with the same technology that Mitchell Starc is training with.
Ready to launch into commercialisation, a final cash hit's needed to make it reality and do in-game testing.
Things like the Big Bash and IPO and that type of thing. So timeframes for that is over the next 2 years.
Ben Davis, 7 News.
Nice. OK, enjoy your evening, everyone. And don't forget, Elle, our coverage of the Boxing Day test starts at 6:30 tomorrow morning on 7 Mate. And then it moves right here at 9 a.m. and it's live and free. It's going to be great. Don't miss it.
It sure will. Merry Christmas, Barra.
Yeah, thanks, Elle.
Thank you. It's one of few inconveniences at Christmas, receiving a gift that doesn't quite work or might not fit. Navigating return policies can be tricky, but those in the know say there are some key things you can do to make the process smoother. Nick Bruning explains.
With 5 kids to look after, Thornley mum Danny needs to be organised for Christmas.
I plan months ahead, so lists definitely with the kids.
And there's plenty of ways to shop.
The big stores, the top stores, Target, Big W, Kmart. But sometimes I do go online. You can find really specific things or personalised things online.
But things don't always go to plan. Clothes that don't fit, 2 identical gifts, or sometimes
it wouldn't work, or you'd put the batteries in and find that it wasn't starting, and that can be really difficult.
If the item's faulty, the law is pretty clear.
You must be able to return the product, either for a replacement, a repair or a refund.
In some cases, you might be asked to contact the supplier. That often happens with tech gadgets like smartphones and computers. But the good news here is that you might not have to. That's because usually you buy the item from a retailer.
If they try and fob you off and say, go see the manufacturer, they still have an obligation. And if you want to choose them as the people to sort out your problem, you still have a right at law.
But there's no law saying the store must return an unwanted gift. It depends on that store's policy. To increase your chances, keep all the original packaging, tags and manuals. Keep your receipts or take photos of them. And remember, staff are just doing their job. Even if you bought the item from overseas and things go wrong, all's not lost.
We have to convince them that the law of our land actually applies. And sometimes that can be tricky. If you don't get satisfaction, you should still try coming to Consumer Protection.
And if all else fails, you can always re-gift.
If you're going to re-gift, that it's not within the same social circles and it's not to the same person.
Merry Christmas!
Nick Bruning, 7 News.
The summer heat continues across Perth. Stay with us. I'll have your full Boxing Day weather forecast right after the break.
Whatever's happening.
Breaking news this morning. The battle to contain the virus is looking promising.
Start your day in the know.
Floods and thunderstorms with severe weather warnings still in place.
Breaking down the issues.
Concerns about how personal data is being used.
There's good reason Australia starts the day with Sunrise on 7.
At Bet365, we're always innovating, creative. It's this constant pursuit of perfection that brought you Bet Builder, Match Live, alerts, and live streaming. It's the reason we're the world's favorite online betting company.
Gamble responsibly.
Spotlight's biggest sale ever starts tomorrow. 30 to 50% off the entire range of Manchester, with massive savings on pillows, quilts, quilt cover sets, sheets, towels and more. So decorate it, celebrate it and create it for less. Sale starts tomorrow. At Spotlight, it's what you make it.
Siegel's outdoor furniture sale is now on. Everything up to 70% off. Fira dining set was $7.99, now $4.99. Cairns day bed was $8.99, now $6.99. Newport dining was $10.99, now $7.99. Siegel's up to 70% off sale now on.
We've unwrapped Hart & Co.'s post-Christmas offers. Asco laundry packages save up to $1,200. Plus bundle and save $1,000 on selected Smeg linear ovens. Hurry, ends December 31st at Hart & Co. Osborne Park.
Bold choice.
Yeah. Bold taste.
Fanta. Bold choice, bold taste.
The Barbecues Galore Boxing Day sale. 30% off selected barbecues, furniture, umbrellas and coolers. 20% off Ziegler and Brown barbecues. And huge savings across these big brands. The Barbecues Galore Boxing Day sale. Now you're cooking.
Each time the sun sees your skin, when the UV is 3 or above, it's doing damage beneath the surface, which can turn to skin cancer. Don't let the sun see your DNA. Defend yourself.
Watch what I do. Watch what I do. I see you looking. Watch what I do. Watch what I do. I see you looking. Watch what I do.
The Boxing Day Bash is online and in-store now at Comfort Style. Save 15 to 50% off absolutely all furniture and bedding. No exceptions. Shop online or head to your local Comfort Style store today. Coburn, Malaga, Mandurah and Osborne Park.
Sorry, I'm late, everyone.
Hi.
I
Morning,
really had my
Mary.
hands full this morning.
Ben,
so first
from
point of...
Finance.
Did someone say KFC?
Border's biggest bust.
You break the law.
It's all going down.
Do you have any criminal convictions?
Aussie Border Security. Next up on 7.
Welcome back. We had an absolute scorcher for Christmas Day this year, our hottest in 13 years. We hit our max of 40.4 degrees just before 2 o'clock this afternoon. That was after an overnight low of 19 degrees. Right now it's 29 degrees in the city. Around the suburbs today, 43 degrees in Northam for Christmas Day, 26 in Rottnest, 36 the top for Baldivis and Mandurah. Across the state, Bridgetown was coolest last night, dipping to just 13 degrees, hottest in Morawa, 44 there for Christmas Day, 42 in Esperance, 31 in Carnarvon. A low pressure trough in northern WA has brought showers and thunderstorms to the Kimberley and Pilbara today. The Bureau predicts the wet conditions will stick around a bit longer, at least until mid-next week. Around the nation for Boxing Day, a shower or two for Canberra, similar in Sydney, 25 the max there, partly cloudy for Brisbane. Back home tomorrow, thunderstorms for most of the Kimberley tomorrow and hot temps up to 35 degrees, windy and 37 in Exmouth, stormy inland too, 42 in Kalgoorlie for Boxing Day. On local waters, a strong wind warning is in place for Perth tomorrow. Winds 15 to 20 knots in the morning, picking up and switching south to southwesterly up to 30 knots, seas to 3 metres on a swell of less than a metre. Across the suburbs for your Boxing Day, very windy all over, 29 in Cottesloe, 31 in Fremantle, 31 for Armidale with some scattered cloud about for most areas. In Mandurah, it'll hit 30 degrees. Also hot for Perth tomorrow, 34 and mostly sunny, cooling down a bit to 31 degrees on Sunday. Sunny skies ahead for Monday, 35 the top. An absolute scorcher again for Tuesday, 39 degrees. Hot too on Wednesday, 37 with some cloud about. Just 30 degrees on New Year's Eve and a much cooler day ahead for the start of 2021. We're expected to hit only 26 degrees on New Year's Day. That's 7 News for now. Thanks for your company. I'll be back with evening updates, and for the latest stories, head to our website, 7news.com.au. Stay with us now for Border Security, Australia's front line. But from all of the team here at 7 News Perth, have a very Merry Christmas. Good night.